Hello and welcome to the channel. My name is Matt and welcome to Le Mans Ultimate. Yes, this is a game we haven't really talked about in quite a long time, but I think it's about time that we start discussing this game once again. The developers at Studio 397 have released quite the announcement for what is coming for their June update. So let's take a look here at what Studio 397 has got cooking up for us. First big note is something that players have been asking for a long time. It's driver swaps. So it's really cool because, as you'd imagine with the World Endurance Championship, you've got these really long stints. You don't want to be running an entire 24-hour race on your own, so the addition of driver swaps is definitely well needed. How this works is you will have a team, which that will be discussed in a later point of this video. As part of a team, you'll have multiple drivers with different types of roles, and when you are choosing in your MFD software how you want to set up your pit stop, what kind of tires you want to change, and what kind of setup you want to change, how much fuel you want added, you can change the requested driver. So let's just say you're done with your stint, you just change over to the selected driver that you want, and during your pit stop, you get out of the car, and then your teammate gets in. And what does a driver do when they are not in the car? Well, there's a kind of camera angle of you viewing the inside of the car, showing the track out in front of you, and you'll actually be more of an engineer-like role, where you're going to be able to view the live timing table. You'll see what kind of fuel level your rivals are on, what type of tires they're running, and then you can kind of use that to your advantage and communicate with your teammate who's actively driving, letting them know what exactly is going on and kind of plan. The cool thing too, as part of the engineer role, is that you're able to adjust the MFD for the next pit stop for the driver. So let's just say your driver's in the middle of the battle, they're trying to make up places as they're getting right up into the pit stop or right into the pit lane, and they're not focused on the MFD. So as the engineer, you can say, okay, we need these types of tires to be changed, we need this level of fuel to be added, we might want to do a little bit of work on the suspension to make sure that everything's up to snuff. All the while your driver is busy racing. So again, that is pretty cool in my mind, where the engineer can kind of do that on behalf of said driver. So the other major part of this update is the fact that there will now be teams, and there will be a tie-in to the Race Control subscription service. We'll talk about that as well in a little bit. So with teams, like I was saying, you will be able to add drivers to your team. You'll be able to make your own team with a more higher tiered subscription model. And part of the teams, you'll have roles. So like I was saying, you'll have the driver role, you'll have the engineer role, and then you'll have an admin role where you're going to be able to add and subtract drivers. And then of course you'll have the team owner, where you're going to be able to add and subtract, admin, engineers, drivers, everything. You'll be able to change your logo, you'll be able to change the name, you'll be able to have up to 10 separate teams that you can be a part of by the sounds of it. The other awesome thing, part of team management, is you're able to upload custom liveries now. Now this one's a little bit different. This isn't necessarily the typical livery editor that I was thinking. Instead of having a full livery editor, what they've decided to do is you'll have to make a file preemptively and then upload it to said team. Interesting. But it's better this way versus having to take precious manpower from Studio 397 to be able to actively create a livery editor. And I've had more experiences with bad livery editors than I've had with good livery editors. So I'm actually quite glad that they went this way, because it's a very low processing power, manpower to take care of. You just have your community make the liveries, which they were going to anyway, and then just upload it. And how this works too, instead of having a centralized kind of thing that like Gran Turismo or like Need for Speed have, or they have hundreds of servers set up for just like a community library of liveries, what they have is you'll upload the livery, and yes, the server will store that, but it'll only be visible towards, well, yourself and the people who are actively in your race lobby. So definitely taking up a lot less processing power than otherwise. Again, interesting way of going about it, but I think it's gonna work. One thing that I hadn't previously touched on before that I think is now more relevant this time around is Race Control's subscription, as they're calling it. It's a paid tier system where with every level of subscription, you'll be able to get more features and whatnot. Little bit interesting that you have to pay 30, 40 bucks, whatever it is for this game, and then for some of these features also have the subscription on top of it. It's kind of how games are going these days. It's not my favorite thing, but it definitely provides, you know, smaller scale studios with the necessary funding they need to continue adding content and continue server updates and, you know, server upkeep. So it is what it is, but Race Control has already been out and has been used, but I just wanted to touch on this because there are some tie-ins with team management, driver swaps, and all that kind of fun stuff. So the Race Control Lite, you get driver profiles, access to weekly events, special events, daily races, you know, that kind of stuff. So with Race Control Pro, you get access to, of course, your driver profile, your weekly and special events, daily races, public servers, that kind of stuff. But now with this is where you're able to use online competitions, where you're finally able to really get into online races and more specialized races that way online. So you do need the Race Control Pro subscription, which is $8 a month to be able to access that content. Unfortunate, but at the same time fair, and that's really the point of time where you're able to access the My Teams or the team management kind of thing. Then finally, you've got the Race Control Pro Plus subscription. Now this one is, of course, like I said, you get everything listed already, but this is where you're able to, with the team management, get access to either larger teams or create like a ton of them. So this is going to be $14 a month, but also not only do you get all of that previous, you also basically pay for the subscription for R Factor 2 as well. So for those, it's kind of a nice tie-in where if you are a hardcore dedicated member of both R Factor 2 and Le Mans Ultimate, then this is definitely something that will be up your alley. So like I said, not my favorite thing in the world, but it definitely does provide additional funding towards you know, Studio 397 and be able to get them just being able to continue making the game as good as they can. So it's nice that instead of just online events now, that with the whole team management thing, that there's now more value, there's more reason to be able to get the whole subscription service versus just, oh, you get online access and that's it. So now that there's that whole team management thing, and now there's, you know, the R Factor 2 tie-in, you know, there's some pretty good value going on here if you're really dedicated in the sim racing space for these particular games. So the content that we've discussed already is already worth making a video over, which is, again, it's going to be awesome to see what the online community has to offer for going forward for the online competitions. It just sounds like it's going to be extraordinary. But one additional cool piece of information is that come June 10th, there will be a single final paid DLC pack. It's pack number 5, and it will include everything that hasn't already been included in the game, again, for the 2024 season. And that is, of course, Lucille International Circuit. Then we've got the Lamborghini Huracan LM GT3 Evo Gen 2. And then we also got the Lexus RCF LMGT3 as well. So it's just awesome that everything's being wrapped up, finalized, and we're going to see some additional cars that you can get access to, some additional circuits. I mean, this I can't believe how much this game has changed since launch. And when I covered this during launch, I was in a really weird headspace in how I felt about this game. I really dislike Studio 397 has been doing great. I just haven't really enjoyed what Motorsport Games has been doing with losing the license of the IndyCar game and the NASCAR and the BTCC as well. It's just, they didn't seem like it was a good spot. I thought they were going to go bankrupt and take Studio 397 with them as well. But it sounds like that Studio 397 has really taken the reins here and said, hey, we've got a really good product. We've got some significant funding involved, finally, with that $2.5 million investment they got earlier, and then with the paid DLC, and then with the subscription service now, and just this game in general being in a really good place. On top of the fact that the console release of this game is coming too. That's something that's going to be massive. And I think I might actually cover that as well when it comes to PlayStation 5, because again, I would love to be able to play that in PlayStation 5. It's just, this is a very worthwhile game now, and I'll be the first to say that. So, like I said, I was almost kind of rooting against these guys on launch, because it's just like, I wanted the corruption and the bad press of Motorsport Games to go away, and I wanted the devs to move on and find some closure or find some sort of, I don't know, but it just really seems like things have turned around in a really good way, and I'm honestly incredibly happy to see that. Is to take a really bad situation and to make it what they've done with it is awesome. It sounds like they're on the up and up, and they've got a great product now. So I'm incredibly happy for everybody at Studio 397. I'm incredibly happy with the people at Motorsport Games. Keep doing what you're doing, because this game is great. It's just, it's a good experience, and with all this content being added, keep doing it, because it's only getting better. So let me know down in the comment section what you guys think of this as well. If you think that it's been well needed, or if you think that they could have gotten a little bit further, could have added some more content to this. So again, just let me know all of you guys' thoughts and opinions down in the comment section down below. If you've enjoyed this video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And of course, as always, stay tuned for more videos. Again, thanks so much for watching. Hope you guys have a great day today. Take care. Bye.